What's up, guys? Bluntguts here. I'm doing another Watch Your Realms video for you. Today I wanted to take a look at Uredin, who I wanted so badly. Guys, I wanted this champion so badly. I mean, he was just... I think he's incredible. There's so many areas in the game that you can use him. I think he's kind of like... I wouldn't quite call him a jack of all trades, because he's going to have, I guess, limited use in Uredin 3, he's not going to be used in. I think, Void Rift, he's not going to be somebody that you bring on every team. Like, I have Hatset, and Hatset, I could use her in every single place in the game. I can bring her into Uredin 1. I can bring her into Uredin 2, she's my solo DPS there. Takes out all the mobs in the middle. I can bring her into Uredin 3, where you can use her either on the right side to clear those mobs that spawn up at the top, as well as the gazer, or whatever it's called, that has that kind of AoE decay effect around it on the right side. But you could also use Hatset in the front to take out all of the little exploding mobs that the boss spawns as well. So Hatset is just, if you can't tell, she's my favorite champion. And I don't think that Uredin is quite on that level. He is super powerful, and I do think that there are a lot of places where he might perform better than Hatset, but I do think that as an all-rounder, Hatset is probably superior. Anyway, why am I talking about Hatset? This is a Uredin video, so in any case, let's get into it, guys. So Uredin is dual faction. He is a Chaos Dominion champion, which means he is pay to win. He is somebody that you can only get from Ancient Shards. I pulled about 40 of them over the weekend that I picked up from Codex, and I've been saving them, and was also able to grab a few from Arena, but no luck. I had the absolute worst luck with Ancients. I don't get any champions from them. I've been playing for, I'm coming up on 3 months right now. I think I'm at day 88 on my account right now. I have pulled one legendary from Ancients. It was on my third Ancient Shard, so this was almost 3 months ago at this point, and it was Venoma. So, I shouldn't really be complaining. I got a legendary lord out of it, and, she is phenomenal, so I'm not too upset, but, what have you done for me recently, Ancient Shards? That's what I want to know. This is recency effect here. I really, really wanted this champion, and for some reason in my head, I decided that this was going to be on my weekend. I hadn't gotten anything in a long time, and I couldn't pull him. But in any case, let's take a look at his skills. I've read through him a little bit, but we're going to be discovering them, together as I go through this a little bit, because I am by no means an expert, but I am super, super into him, and it would be great if I could find him on here. Oh, there he is. So Uredin, I mean, just look at this guy. He looks visually amazing. I mean, that gigantic sword, awesome armor, and I think that his skills really kind of fall in line with that, because he is a certified badass. So let's go through them real quick here. Let's start with the talent. After the ultimate is cast, basic attack will turn into Phantom Strike for 15 seconds. If the ultimate is cast when Potent Surge maxes out, basic attack will turn into Soul Harvest for 15 seconds. So what does that mean? So basic attack's going to turn into Phantom Strike after the ultimate is cast. So it's going to deal 150% AoE damage to at most 10 enemies in range of the ultimate. So normally his basic is 100% AoE damage to 5 enemies. So you're going to double the amount of enemies, and you're also going to get another 50% damage on top of that. If the ultimate is cast when Potent Surge maxes out, Potent Surge is Rage can continue to recover after reaching its cap. Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that, actually. So he, I think that he essentially, normally champions, they get 100% rage, and that's when you use the ultimate. It doesn't continue accumulating after that. He's got kind of like an overload effect, where once you get 100% rage, he's going to continue to stack that rage, and the more rage you stack, the more damage you're going to do. But when you do use the ultimate, it is going to consume all of that rage and reset you to 0. So I guess you're going to have to kind of determine when's the appropriate time to cast that ultimate. Do I have time to wait for the big damage? Do I need something immediate? So very cool, very cool. And Soul Harvest. So if the ultimate is cast when Potent Surge maxes out, basic attack will turn into Soul Harvest for 15 seconds. So it's also, you're going to get 120% AoE damage 2 times to it, so it's 240% AoE damage if you do stack that rage all the way to his cap, not to the normal champion's cap, because he's a special boy. And you know what? I wish that I had him. I'm just going to keep saying that throughout this video. So in any case, we talked about the basic attack. It's magic damage. That's important to note. So he is a magic damage fighter, which is somewhat rare. There's a few of them in the game, but he also, if you notice here, he's got this extended range, which looks like it is about the same as, say, like a Valkyrie. Doesn't look like it's quite as big as Ardea's, but still, either way, that does kind of open up some options as to where you can use him. He might be more viable sitting behind the wall in Gear Aid 1, and he does deal, it seems like, a lot of AoE damage, so he's going to be a fantastic champion for that. One thing to note, his cost 20 is a little on the high side. There's definitely some fighters that are up there, but could be a little bit more manageable. In any case, let's see what else we got here. So the ultimate, Obliterating Blast. It attacks up to 10 enemies on a large range ahead. So it seems like his target cap is kind of at 10. The basic attack is going to hit for 5 enemies, but it seems like once you get him skilled up and once you start using some of his activatable skills, then that's when his target cap is going to go up to 10. Which is, again, going to make him more potent in AoE situations. So attacks up to 10 enemies in a large range ahead, dealing 300% AoE damage and inflicting stun. Let's take a look at the stun. 1 second. So that's better. A lot of these crowd control effects only have a half-second duration, which doesn't really do all that much. I suppose it interrupts their actions, so it does help you kind of control them a bit, but it's not very long. So 1 second is definitely an improvement, better than being half a second. When Potent Surge, which again is that ability to continue accumulating rage after he hits that 100% cap. So when Potent Surge maxes out, he attacks up to 10 enemies in a large range ahead, dealing 800% AoE damage and inflicting stun. Is it the same stun? This is a 3-second stun. So you're getting a 1 second stun if you use it at 100% rage. If you get him up to his max, he's going to do 2.6 times more damage with the AoE, and he's also going to get 3 times more duration on that stun, which is just ridiculous. And then you look down at these skill ups. You're going to reduce the skill cost by 200, so maxed out, he's going to have only an 800 cost for his skill, which is pretty phenomenal for a fighter. You're going to get just boatloads more damage. So you're talking about 500% damage if you use it at 100% rage, but then you're going to get it up to 1200% damage if you can stack that rage all the way up to his cap. Phantom Rage is passive. Lower HP grants a higher rage regen auto, which is kind of cool. All of these Chaos fighters, they seem to function better as their HP decreases. Most of the time it's a damage increase, which I think he does have as well. But in this case, you're actually going to get more passive rage regen, which also plays in this ultimate here, because if the ultimate cost is only 800 and you're getting that extra rage regen, he's going to be popping off his ultimate all the time if you can keep his HP low and still keep him alive. So that's something that's really important to consider. Arbiter of Death. When dealing damage using Soul Harvest, there's a 20% chance to execute enemies. Him and Vierna, they're the only ones that can do it in the game. And you can see down in those skill ups, you can increase that threshold to 35%, which matches Vierna's. So he's going to be as good at it as she is. Bosses and elites are not included in that. When receiving fatal damage during the effect of Phantom Strike, which deals 130% damage to 10 enemies, and Soul Harvest, which is the 220% damage 2 times. Didn't it say? I thought it said 120 someplace or before. Where do we see that? That's odd. So it says 120% damage 2 times there. I wonder if it's specific to the talent, the damage changes. I don't know, or maybe it's just inconsistency. The tooltips are not always the best in this game, I have noticed. I wish there was a little more transparency on that, but it is what it is. He's going to do a lot of damage. We know that. So in any case, when he does receive fatal damage during the effect of Phantom Strike and Soul Harvest, he's going to enter Unyielding, which is unkillable essentially. It's 5-second unkillable. It can be only triggered 1 time per deployment, which is pretty standard in this game. I do know that he has an Awakening that's going to restore health after this fades. So if you can get him, I don't know if it's Awaken 1 or Awaken 3, but he does become more effective in keeping himself alive later on. If you can get multiple copies of him, good luck. But In any case, the final bit here is his arena cost is reduced by 5, pretty standard for the Chaos faction. They are all pretty geared towards arena. So yeah, really just awesome kit. I think he's going to be really great in, like I said, Gear Raid 1. You're not going to be able to use him in 3. I think you could probably use him in 2. I don't know that you would really be getting a whole lot out of him. I mean, he does have that unyielding, so you can use him to block the mobs from getting to the soul crystals in there, and he'll do his job as far as that's concerned. But that's not really going to work on his damage. I suppose if you were to do that, then you could bring him at the end to kill the golems. So he can be definitely a contributor there, but I don't think he's going to do anything incredible in that aspect. I think that the places where he's really going to shine and he's really going to separate himself from these the other champions, the other fighters, is one. He deals magic damage, so you got to put him in categories like Valkyrie, like Zillatu. Although I'm not saying, I don't think he's going to be a clan, or excuse me, Raid's coming out, a guild boss beast. But I do think that he can fill a similar role in that sense, in that you typically expect fighters to be more physical damage oriented, and he is not that. So very cool, very 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 cool. Void Rift was the other place I was going to say. So Arena and Void Rift, I think, are going to be the places where he really shines. I think there's a lot of cool things that you could do with him. He's going to deal so much damage, and he's going to do it to take out packs of mobs that I think he could really make an impact on your account if you're struggling with Void Rift. With that said, the one thing I don't think that he's going to be an essential champion. I think in Arena, maybe. I could see him being overpowered in Arena, but as the game currently stands, I don't know that there's content where you really need his particular skill set. I think he'll probably help you, but is he going to be the champion that you don't have that's going to prevent you from taking on, say, clearing Nightmare Void Rift? I can say unequivocally no. I have cleared Nightmare Void Rift 5 times now, and so I don't have him on my account. Certainly didn't. He wasn't released when I first started doing it, so you do not need him for that. But he will be helpful, and I'm sure there's some really creative things that you can do with him because his kit is super diverse. So let's take a look at the Awakenings. Here we go. So yeah, the A1, during the effect of Unyielding, granted by Arbiter of Death, increases attack speed by 200. That's awesome. And then when the effect ends, he's going to get half his health back, which is almost better than getting all of his health back because he has these benefits for having low health, and so you want to keep him relatively low. So that's pretty cool. The Awaken 2, 15% crit damage. Typically you see, like, say 300 attack or 5% attack in this spot. I don't hate crit damage, honestly. I think that's really useful, and it's a little less common, so that's kind of cool. When Potent Surge maxes out, damage of Obliterating Blast ignores 40% of the target's magic resist. And since his damage is all magic, that is huge. That is gigantic. He's going to do just a ton more damage when he gets this A3. Now, granted, you are going to have to accumulate 2 times the cap, so twice what you would normally accumulate for an ultimate. But then again, with the increased rage regen and with the relatively low ultimate cost, it's not going to be that onerous to really get that level of rage to cast that. So not bad at all. Penetration plus 8%. I think this is an underrated stat in this game. People kind of sleep on penetration. The Fatality set in particular comes to mind. It's 12% penetration, I think 3% attack. Actually a really solid set that does not get a lot of play, probably because there are kind of 2 apex sets in the game for damage dealers, Soulbound Arcana and Infernal Roar. Fatality doesn't touch that, but considering what it gives, it's pretty impressive that it really increases your damage the way it does. If you have some Fatality, give it a shot, especially in situations like, say, in Gear Raid 3, when you've got really high defense mobs, or in other areas of the game where you've got really high magic resist mobs. You're going to notice a difference. It's pretty stark, actually. And so finally, Awaken 5, for each enemy taking damage from Obliterating Blast, increases attack by 5% for 15 seconds. So if you can do Obliterating Blast, actually it's for each enemy taking damage. So if you can hit 5 enemies with Obliterating Blast, you're going to get 25% attack for 15 seconds. So pretty incredible. I think he's going to be a phenomenal champ. I hope you pulled him. I apologize for my dogs barking in the background. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Happy New Year, everybody. I'll catch you next time.